It's Jimmy Rants time. We got to get started right now on Jimmy Rants. What's going on, you guys? Come on in. We're starting a new episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website if you want to join in watching the past episodes and things like that. You can also watch live right here on Instagram Live. I am at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. Once you are there, you can engage live in the content, just like all these awesome people coming in right now. Thank you guys for being here. We're also simulcasting over here on my Facebook pages, so thank you, Livin' La Vida Low Carb Facebook page and the Jimmy Moore Facebook page. Thank you guys for being here. JimmyRants.com is that website if you want to access the past episodes. We also put them up on YouTube, so if you type in a keyword Jimmy Rants over at YouTube, you'll find these shows as well. Lots of ways to access this show. We're also airing a little bit of the audio over on my flagship podcast called the Livin' La Vida Low Carb Show. And so, yeah, lots of ways to access this content. I really like doing this show, bringing all kinds of topics to you. And of course, lately, on the hearts and minds of everybody is what's going on in the world right now with the coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, and how we're all responding to having to deal with this. And so if you've been following me like the last week and a half, then you know I've been trying to encourage you. I've been trying to bring some positivity to this message because literally it's extraordinarily negative out there right now. And please don't go on Twitter. Twitter is like the worst place to be right now because everybody who's trying to take some sort of a political position about decisions made, you're hearing it all. It's just, it's a muckety muck. Please stay away from Twitter. But stay here, find people that are positive, do the things that you know are uplifting you and not depressing you. And that's kind of the topic I want to talk about here today, because I have been expressing pretty vividly in my work since all this went down early last week, where we were starting to be socially distanced and this kind of dawned on us that this is real. I've been very worried about the mental state of mind, the collective mental state of mind of the world right now, and how people are allowing themselves to become paralyzed by the fear. And one thing you know about me, if you don't know me very well, one thing you will learn about me is I don't think anything but positivity, anything but uplifting, encouraging. That's literally the heart and soul of who and what I am as a person. And so what I've been doing here is trying to acquiesce fear, trying to calm anxiety, trying to make people feel like, okay, this is happening. It is happening. There's nothing we can do about it. When it's outside of your control, what else can you do other than control yourself? If you hear nothing else I say about this today, just know everything that's happening that you think is haywire, that's causing you such angst, such anxiety, it literally is all within your control about how you're responding to this. And if you're responding in a negative way, check yourself. Get that under control, because the circumstance isn't going to change. This coronavirus is here. It's a very real threat to certain segments of the population, which means those of us that aren't going to be negatively impacted directly by it need to do our part, which means we're inconvenienced. Yes, you're inconvenienced. Yes, you're having to do things outside the norm, but no, that's not a reason to respond in a negative way. But I found this article today written by this guy, Tim Denning. It was on medium.com. And the headline said, "Dealing with intense fear during times of uncertainty. Don't let the world turn your mind into a natural disaster." And what you're going to learn from what Tim wrote in this, and I loved it. That's why we're talking about it here. And of course, I'm going to do what I always do on Jimmy Rants. I'm going to provide you my own commentary with what he's saying here. But we all have the ability right here, right now, to control how you're responding to all this. And a lot of people are responding with panic, anxiety, depression. I had a good personal friend of mine text me yesterday. They're at their wits' end. Like, they're so stressed out about all this. And it's real. Like, people are letting this affect them in a negative way. And I keep thinking, why would you purposely do that? Why would you let this kind of situation overwhelm you to the point that you just go, oh my God, the world is ending. It's amazing, the human brain, how we go there, how we allow those thoughts to pervade. And I'm here today to encourage you, don't let those thoughts pervade. Don't let them overcome you. It's so easy to let that happen, especially when you keep yourself in that news cycle and you keep reading about all these new things and you just stay so engaged in your mind. I'll tell you one of the things that has helped me, and I was reflecting on this morning. I ended my 6-month sabbatical on March 1st. So when I got back, it was about a week or so, and then all this came out. So what I've found is, over this past week and a half, I'm back in sabbatical mode. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I lived that way for 6 months, and so I was used to learning to chill and already be kind of in this Zen state, knowing little practices I can do that will get me in that state to relax. And so what I've done lately is, yes, I'm working again. I'm doing Jimmy Rants, I'm doing podcasting, but I'm doing a lot of the chilling that I did on sabbatical. And if I could just impart wisdom on you, find your Zen. Find what it is that will put you in that peacefulness in your life. Because right now, life is cray. And when life goes cray-cray on you, you've got to roll with it. You've got to do the part to know yourself and know when you need that break. And I learned this greatly while I was away on sabbatical. When there was nothing else to do but chill, I learned how to chill. A lot of people, they've never learned how to chill. So when they come up with intense fear and uncertainty about the future, it overwhelms you. And you don't know what to do with that. And one of the best ways you can deal with that is deal with your stress. All right, let's get to this particular story. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because he's talking about stock market and stuff. He did say there is no one that is immune to fear. We all feel it. We all have it. It's okay to feel fear. It's not the feeling of fear that's the problem. It's the dwelling on fear that becomes the problem. And when you dwell and your brain plays on replay over and over and over and over all these negative thoughts, and a lot of you already have that personality where you replay things in your mind that were bad, and you get to deep, dark places in that mind and you can't get out of it. This is, again, knowing yourself, knowing your mental state enough to know whether you need to be fearful and you let that overcome you, or whether, okay, it's a fearful time, but I'm going to separate myself from it and do things to not go down that deep, dark path. The current state of the world could be interpreted to have gone from calm seas to tsunami conditions. That's a really good analogy. It was calm, 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 and then all utter disaster. That's what happened. Unprecedented in our lifetime. Like, in modern history, nothing like this has ever happened. Nothing. And so we don't know how to handle when something this radically different from everything we've ever known starts to happen. And so it is. And during times of uncertainty, what you must do is deal with your fear. Otherwise, that fear is going to deal with you personally. How many of you have let that deal or that fear deal with you on a very personal level? You can be honest. You know you have. You know you've had thoughts of, oh my God, how are we ever going to recover from this? Because maybe a lot of you are suffering financially. I know a lot of you are. If you're suffering financially and you're currently on a limited schedule, cut back hours, or God forbid you lost your income right now because of this coronavirus, you've got a lot of fear over that. You've got a lot of fear about when is life going to get back to normal again. And never mind the regular stressors that are in your life all the time, family issues, relationships, any number of things in your life that you deal with. that could be stressful and cause you fear as well. Those things aren't going away. So you got to deal with the fear. And you got to deal with all that uncertainty. And that takes a lot of mental energy to deal with. This article I'm reading from, by the way, is going to help you with some of this. So none of this is pretty. The last few weeks have taught me a lot about fear and what I can do about it. Thankfully, I have survived so far, and so can you. Here are a few ways to deal with fear. Who wants to hear what Tim has to say in this article? Again, if you joined us late, this is from medium.com. Tim Denning is the author. Really great article about how he's dealt with the fears that have come up. So you ready? You want to see what he has to say? Number 1, inaction is glorious. Can I tell you, when I went away on sabbatical, I thought inaction would be the antithesis of glorious. When I went away September 1st, I thought, man, I'm going to go nuts because I'm an action kind of guy. Go, 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 go. Constantly doing stuff, coming on camera, doing videos, recording podcasts, writing books, all the stuff I do. And one of the most glorious things I did was nothing. And I want you to look at the nothingness that's happening possibly in your world right now, where you're used to filling it with stuff, and now that stuff's not there in your life, and you're having to just be in the presence of nothingness. Revel in it. Enjoy it. Let's see what Tim says about it. Fear can cause you to make terrible decisions, so try turning off your action muscle. The don't do anything button is really strong right now. And I got to tell you, it's been really wonderful over the past week and a half of the do nothingness. Like yesterday, I didn't do any Jimmy rants at all. I'm sorry about that for those of you that are used to seeing me on camera every day. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling it. Yesterday, I wanted to revel in the nothingness of it. And I did. I loved the nothingness of doing nothing. And it was awesome. And I think this is a unique opportunity for all of us to embrace nothingness in this time. Don't make a financial decision. Don't try to sell your house. Don't try to tell that person that you've been trying to tell news to anything like it's the end of the world, or that this is the last chance you'll ever have to do these things. Just don't make any decisions today, or this week, or this month. Just enjoy inaction. Like, who knew inaction could be so freaking glorious? But he makes a good point. Especially in stressful times, you don't want your brain to go there with rational decisions when your brain is in complete irrationality mode. Not everybody. There's some pretty cool, level-headed people that if you're making decisions, you know what you're doing. But there's a lot of people that aren't in a good headspace, and they're just making rash decisions that could affect their lives. And they're just making them under this assumption that all things are fine when all things aren't fine. Action can take you further, but not always in the direction you want to. But fear can drive you in so many directions, and you will end up tail spinning. And so maybe you've been caught in the tailspin of trying to know what to do right now, what decisions to make. You're trying to take care of your family and get things in order. Maybe now is not the time to do that. There will be time to plan all that later. But right now, embrace the gloriousness that is in action. So that's number 1. Number 2, about how to deal with fear right now. Happiness is peace. Can I tell you, there's no more peaceful time than knowing yourself enough to be within yourself and knowing that things are going to go in your head the way that you want them to go. Like, happiness is a choice. Like right now, people are seemingly unhappy because of the situation. And at the end of the day, you choose whether you're happy or sad or fearful or whatever. You have the choice. And people, they scoff at that. Well, I feel these overwhelming feelings of fear. Okay, that's great. But again, you're choosing that. Okay? And if it's that bad, get some mental health help. I posted a couple times over this past week 2 different mental health therapist professionals that are standing ready to help you. Dr. Jay Wiles is one of them that I posted about. He's a buddy of mine down the road in Greenville, South Carolina. And then my life coach, Rachel Freeman. So go on my Instagram page, scroll back, and you'll see both of them are offering their services during this time. If you're so overwhelmed you can't find that happiness, to find that peace, maybe you need to talk to somebody right now. And that's highly recommended to any of you, by the way. If this is overwhelming you to the point that you can't get to that place of happiness in your head and heart, seek help. Seek help sooner than later. Even in the midst of this, seek help. And I can tell you from firsthand knowledge, Rachel is amazing. Rachel Freeman is her name. Again, go find that blog post or that social media post where I posted about her information. And then Dr. Jay Wiles I also did a post about. So use these resources. Find somebody that you can talk to professionally that can help you work through this. So happiness is peace. There's a thought to munch on. When everything is uncertain, perhaps happiness is simply peace. So what does peace look like? See if you've done any of this lately. Peace. Time spent on the couch. Man, this is good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm enjoying that too much. 5 minutes of just calm. Now, I know those of you that have kids, you're like, yeah, right, calm. 5 minutes of calm. If it means you go to the bathroom for 5 minutes, go into the bathroom for 5 minutes. But 5 minutes of calm is such peace, is such happiness. A clean kitchen. Have any of you been doing like deep cleaning in your house because there's like literally nothing else to do but clean your house? I know a lot of people that have been cleaning house like crazy. Maybe you're doing, or you had hopes to kind of remodel or deep clean some part of your house. Right now, a lot of people doing that, and it makes their brain happy. You get all the housework done. Like, think about all those chores that you put off to the weekend, and then the weekend comes and you're so tired from the work week that you really don't feel like doing it, and you just veg out on the weekend, and then you go back to work the next week, and then that housework just builds up. Well, guess what? You're at home all the time now. So when you're at home all the time, housework gets done, and guess what? That makes your brain happy. You're at peace. And then maybe you've had books to read, and you've put it off. Right now, guys, you're used to filling that time with all kind of other stuff. Well, guess what? That stuff's gone. So if that stuff is not in your life right now, use this opportunity to read for an hour, to listen to music, to just do something that makes you feel good and happy. And more than anything right now, that is so good for your psyche. I've been cranking the music, and I have a very eclectic love for music. I like modern pop music. Younger people, when I talk to them, they're like, "How do you know who, Maroon 5 is? How do you know Post Malone?" I do. I love their music. And I love classic rock. I love 80s. I love everything except for death metal and country music. And yes, I live in the South and I hate country music. There are a few of us like that around here. So Tim says, think about your goals differently during times of uncertainty laced with fear. Simplify your goals to, is this peace or is this not peace? I love that question. Like in your mind, when you come upon a situation and you start feeling feelings, you ask yourself, is this making me peaceful or is this not making me peaceful? And if it's not making you peaceful, you let it go. You don't let it overtake you. You find that level of peace. And that's going to be different from person to person. Some people can hear seemingly bad news, process it, and go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Other people hear the exact same news and go, oh, not peace. Okay, let it go. You see what I'm saying? So you've got to know yourself. All right, number 3. These are ways to eliminate the fear and dampen the fear that you might be feeling right now and dealing with it. And it's ironic because I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the places, but it's to mute the social media. But let me add the caveat. Mute social media does not mean mute out the people you're getting benefit from. A lot of you have written to me and said, oh, thank God Jimmy Moore is back. So thank you for that. I'm happy to be back. But you're just drawn to the positivity that we're offering here, because everywhere else, like I said, Twitter is a pure sewer right now. Stay off of Twitter. Facebook's pretty bad too. I mean, I go on Facebook and it's just like all the bad news. Everybody's posting all the articles and all the conspiracy theories. And ugh. Instagram seems to be better. Like most of the people on Instagram, you're pretty chill. A lot of my friends in the keto and carnivore community are trying to offer uplifting messages right now. You get a little bit of the negativity, but it's not much. So all the cool kids are over on Instagram, so go follow me at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. And I have been, outside of Jimmy Rants, trying to offer a lot of encouragement in my regular posts and on my stories as well. So find those places. But in general, mute social media. The challenge of social media is everybody's got an opinion. I talk about opinions. They're like butts. Everybody's got one, and most of them stink. Yes, that's a southern expression. Opinions are like butts. We all got one, and most of them stink. It's true. Everyone has their opinion and their take on the current state of the digital world, but commentary can easily be mistaken for evidence. This is the problem that I see as well. Because people see things and they hear about things, and then they let their mind run with it, whether that information is correct or not. And there's a lot of crap information, you guys. Like, let's just be honest. There are people out there saying stuff that have no business saying anything. Like, I'm coming on here talking around the edges of all this. I'm not talking with firsthand knowledge of the coronavirus, COVID-19. Ever. Have not. That's not my lane. My lane is encouragement and inspiration and helping you deal with like all the mental and fear of this. That's my angle. And so there's people though that have no business talking about this directly. They're saying, well, we know verifiably that it and it just, you need to tune those people out. Those are the people that I think are causing more harm than good right now. Even a headache that leads to a migraine. During times of uncertainty, you don't need any more commentary about the uncertainty. Yeah, because the uncertainty is already in your head. You don't need somebody else saying, well, we just don't know what's going to happen. Like, we don't know. Like, we're going to go down the road. I just heard the IRS moved having to file the taxes to July 15th. But we don't know. You can get overwhelmed. And that's driving the uncertainty. And you add that on top of the actual uncertainty that's in your mind, and fear paralyzes you. And that's what we're trying to let go of right now. So muting all that noise is pretty critical. You know you're feeling uncertain right now. That fear, you can feel it all through your body. Especially those of you that have some kind of a chronic disease, maybe autoimmune condition, maybe you have chronic pain. Have you noticed, those of you that have had chronic pain, got it to subside, have you noticed that pain has come back? That's not by accident. That is definitely an inflammatory response to the fear, which stokes the stress in your body, which is making your body go, what's going on? Like something's happening out there and we don't know what's going on. And your mind has overcome your body. And we talked about a few days ago the physical effects of the stress of all this and what do you do with it. In fact, yesterday's episode of Real Talk with me and Dr. Will Cole, we talked all about what's going to happen with this stress on your body and your health. So if you missed that, go back and listen to that, llvlc.com. A really good episode if you missed it. The guy from Australia with the beard and a can of beer, or beard and can of beer, hurling out abuse to the government just won't help you find peace right now. Like we all know those people. I was reading some Facebook thread on Rob Wolf's Facebook page today, and there was some commenter on there that said some pretty ugly, nasty things. Very well known to do that, by the way. And oh my gosh, it was just like this tit for tat. I'm going, why? That's not peace. Remember, we're looking for peace. If it's peace, keep doing that. If it's not peace, stop doing that. Sounds pretty simple to make that choice. Too much stimulus when you're fearful can overcook your brain. How many of you feel like your brain is well done right now? Like it's been cooked and it's boiled and it's starting to pop open. It's so overcooked. And so calm it. Don't allow this fear to overcome you. Like, for the love of God, do this for yourself. Nobody else is being helped by you being fearful. Nobody else is feeling the way you're feeling perhaps right this moment, except for you. And you are all that matters right now. Let's just be honest. If you're watching this and you're hearing my voice right now, you know what's going on in your own noggin. And if you're overwhelmed and if this is cooking your brain and you just can't handle it, you got to start using some of these strategies we're talking about to deal with this fear, because it's going to have a lasting effect on you long after this coronavirus is a distant memory. That is something I've been really thinking about a lot lately. Like when this is all over and we're months down the line, what's the lasting mental health effects of this? You know, look, put aside the economic effects. It's going to obviously have that and other effects in our daily lives. But the mental health effects alone, I don't think we have any way of gauging that. But it's going to be extraordinarily high. And as someone who cares about people and cares about them being in a good mental state, this sincerely concerns me. So try to deal with that now if you can. Try to get help now. Don't let this overwhelm you so you never get back to where you were before the COVID-19 coronavirus came on the scene. So Tim says the two social media channels he would mute first is Facebook, so sorry Facebook, and YouTube. Well, I disagree. Tim, I think Twitter is far worse than Facebook. Facebook's bad. I'm not going to lie. Facebook's really bad. But Twitter is the baddest of the bad. I would say mute Twitter, then I wouldn't totally mute Facebook, but I would limit your exposure to just those people that are spreading positivity. So find who those people are and follow them and watch their stuff, but nothing else. And then on Instagram, it's pretty much clean here on Instagram. You're okay. YouTube, I haven't seen a lot of negativity on YouTube. I suppose if you Google or put in a search on YouTube for coronavirus or COVID-19, you're probably finding a lot of conspiracy theory type stuff, but you'd have to go out of your way. On Facebook, you just pop on there on your friends' pages and pow, it's all right there. And same with Twitter. Like I just did a general look on Twitter this morning just to see what it was, and it was just this morass of this person didn't do this, so therefore you should never support them again, or this person did this, and what a buffoon. And it's just, it's ugly. So Twitter is like the pits of hell right now if you're trying to find positivity. Yeah, Instagram's the place to be. I think I'm a little biased. None of these places are curated, and any person with a gun can shoot their mouth off. Yeah, and they do. But know what triggers you, and if you see anything that triggers you immediately, not peace, get it out of your life. Okay? All right, next one to deal with the fear. Quit solving problems that don't yet exist and may never exist. I know people in my life right now that they worry about things that never, ever will come to fruition. And I always scratch my head and go, why are you worrying about that? That's not a thing. Oh, but it could be. I'm like, but what if it never does? Like, what if that thing you're worrying about so intently as if it's real right this moment, What if it never happens? If it never happens, you worried in vain. But guess what? Your body didn't know it wasn't supposed to worry. And so all those physical and mental effects from the worrying about something that probably wouldn't happen and ended up not happening, you didn't escape the ramifications of that worry and that fear. So why do that to yourself? So quit solving problems that don't even exist. Fear makes your mind believe there are more problems than you can handle. I have people all the time that talk about like all this list of things, and I'm going, all right, what are you actually dealing with? Well, all these things. No. What are you actually having to deal with? Like what are those things directly impacting you? And they'll say a couple of things. I'll be like, anything else? And they're like, no. I said, then only concern yourself with those things that are real. We make up stuff to worry about. It must be a first world problem, by the way, to make up things to worry about. When you make up things to worry about, you worry about stupid stuff. Can we let go of the stupid stuff worry right now? Like, none of that is serving a good purpose for us. It's not. You start seeing your old shoes as a problem. You think about stocking up on supplies. You wonder whether you should send a guide to survive life to your parents, a guide to survive life to your parents in case they haven't figured that out yet in their 70s. I got a call from my mama yesterday, and she has this autoimmune condition called myasthenia gravis. Really freak accident how she got it. She was bitten by a bug on her front porch, and it turned into meningitis, and the meningitis turned into this myasthenia gravis, and it's this condition where basically her whole one side of her body gets paralyzed, kind of mimics the effects of a stroke. It was really scary about 5 years ago when she developed this, and so she's got a compromised immune system. So I was calling to check in on her and see how she's doing, and she's isolating and doing all the right things. But yeah, people are scared right now, and they're letting all those fears hurt them. But they're worrying about a lot of things that just simply aren't going to ever happen. Let's let those go. There are many problems in the world, and they don't all have your name on them. That's what Tim wrote in this article. I love that line. Many problems right now. They don't have to be your burden. There are lots of smart people working on the actualness of this problem. What you need to focus on right now more than ever before is your personal impact. Okay? So if you know you're getting overwhelmed, deal with that. If you know your blood sugar and your blood pressure are going out of whack because of your concern about this, deal with that. Handle your own affairs and the affairs of your immediate family that you're with. Take care of the people around you. Now more than ever, your core family unit is your purpose. It's what you need to focus on entirely. Other people are going to worry about some of these other things. You don't need to. Can we get that straight? That you're not serving any good purpose by worrying about something that's way outside your control, and that may never be something that you could ever do anything about. So why are you worrying about it now? This seems so simple when I explain it this way, doesn't it? It's like, man, I've never had anybody explain it that way. Well, it is simple if you get it. Deal with your fear by shortening the problems that you have a list of. Most of us have a list this long of problems, and it should be about that long. In fact, today, I want you to do an exercise for me. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down the actual problems you're dealing with right now. Maybe you're out of work, and so you need income, and you don't know how you're going to pay your bills and take care of your family. That's an actual problem. It's not something to worry about, but it is an actual problem. Maybe you're concerned that your kid isn't getting the education they need right now because they're out of school, but a lot of schools are starting to do virtual schooling soon, maybe you have concerns about that. Okay, that's an actual concern. Write down the actual concerns that you have. And all those other ones that you think are big concerns on your list of things to be concerned about and fearful about, let them go. Let them go. You need to shorten that list of problems. Own the problems that you must own. The things I just provided examples to, I know a lot of people are dealing with right now. And get a refund, I love this terminology, get a refund on all the problems that are not yours. How much of your energy have you spent on all these things you don't have any control of and have no business being fearful about? You need to ask for a refund. Let's file a class action lawsuit against all those things that we've been worried about, that we have no control over and have no reason to be worrying about. I want to file a class action lawsuit and get my money back. Right? So let's do that. Don't let those things overwhelm you. And if all else fails, postpone any problem solving right now. Think about the problems in your life before this hit. They're still there. They're not going anywhere. But right now isn't the time necessarily to deal with them. Maybe you hold them off until all this is over and your rational brain is able to kick in again. Let's face it, most of us have suspended rationality in our brains. We have. Most of us are living in that panic, in that fear, in that uncertainty, and we're letting it overtake us right now. This is not the time to be making any important life decisions that will impact you for long after this is over. It needs to be something that you hold off on, at least until you can assimilate what all this means to you now and moving into the future. Maybe you put off those problems and solving them. If your holiday in 3 months is going to get canceled without a refund, just deal with it 3 months from now. I'd be shocked if you planned a cruise and they didn't give you a refund. So I'd be shocked if it's canceled and you lost all the money. That doesn't sound right. But don't worry about those things now. Those things will take care of themselves later. Right now, you just need to keep your head at peace. Next one, stop trying to spot patterns. Our brains do that, by the way. When we see various news and things get confirmed of things we already believed, and so you're looking for, because this happened there, and then this happened here, and then it went over here, and then that, and then it came to here, and then over there, they're so far ahead of where we were, and so your brain can try to spot patterns, and you go in there in your head. Any dude with a computer can show you a pattern and then extrapolate it out to show some predicted outcome. That's probably my biggest pet peeve right now, is all the people who are trying to do kind of predictive analyzations of what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's stop pretending that we know. There's no algorithm, there's no analysis, there's no nothing that's going to tell us what actually is going to happen. Predicting, okay, fine, but don't share it all over the place. When you share it all over the place, you just spread more panic and fear. And even before coronavirus, this happens all the time, all throughout our culture. I love sports, and it's all off the air right now, pretty much live sports. The NFL is still doing their free agency, and there's so many things happening. But in sports, they do that all the time. Tom Brady was the big free agent. He's now going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, leaving the New England Patriots. Well, all the conjecture around it was, where's Tom going to go? Will he go back to the Patriots? No, I think he's going to go play for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, well, he's not going to go there. He's going to go to here, and he would be such a good fit. All this predictability that was kind of swirling around out there, and then he ends up in Tampa Bay, and nobody was talking about Tampa Bay. And I feel the same way about a lot of this stuff with the predictability of the coronavirus. There's a whole lot of people pulling stuff out of their butt right now that ain't got no business talking about it. And yet they are. And it's all that chatter that's out there that lets you go, oh, yeah, that's what I believe. Oh, and it's a pattern. Oh. We got to stop that. What if the pattern is wrong? Your fear levels are high, and you see patterns in everything in everyday life The patterns all try to support that fear you already have, but the pattern could be wrong. Maybe your current circumstances are a black swan and a white dove is on the way. Let's not pretend like that all the doom and gloom that you're possibly being exposed to right now is actually going to happen. Like I've heard some weird numbers of, well, X number of people are going to be infected with this and X number of people are going to die from it. We don't know. It's all fun to do this predictive analysis, and God bless engineers. I mean, that's the way their brain works. Predictive analysis based on evidence and taking numbers and crunching them and making something of them. But I don't think they're doing any good right now. Pattern spotting is fun for people. It's a sport like baseball. It's the pastime of the internet. But patterns explain everything, and they explain nothing at all. So let's stop exposing ourselves to that kind of unnecessary fear right now. The next one is a walk and a smoothie. Tim offers this as a good strategy because it's simple and elegant. The other day, fear was destroying my mind and causing me to lose balance, so I went out for a walk and bought a smoothie, and 1 hour later, I felt better. Yeah, I had a friend of mine in my life was kind of feeling overwhelmed the other day, and they went for a walk. And they came back and went, wow, I feel really good now. I'm like, yeah, because you got out, got fresh air, got some sunshine, and a lot of that stuff that swirls in your head. I can tell you, when I take a walk, I let go of a lot of things when I walk. And so when you get back from a walk, you just kind of go, okay, the world's a better place now. And we need to all get there in our heads. Tim says, my girlfriend often asks me why I like to buy smoothies. I realized it's because it reduces my fear when I walk with a smoothie. I'm not saying it's scientific, but it's worth a try. I'm not a big fan of smoothie, but literally anything. I mean, take a walk and come back and cook a ribeye. I mean, however it fits your model of how you live your life, do it and reap the benefits. I was seeing my neighbor across the street over there earlier. He was out in his front yard mowing his grass. It's a beautiful sunny day here in South Carolina. It's not a bad idea. Like I feel so at peace when I'm out there mowing the grass. It's not real high, but it could be high enough that I could cut it and I would notice, and it would make me feel better. So I probably will do that a little bit later on today. Not that I feel bad. I've been pretty encouraged all through this. I have not allowed the fear of this situation that a lot of people have to overcome me. All right, next one, to acquiesce fear. Don't be sold. Did you know fear sells? Fear can sell you a lot of stuff you don't need. Fear can cause you to consume more than your mind can hold. Fear can sell you a new car, and it can make you go out and buy a bunch of toilet paper at the grocery store. Fear does that. Don't be motivated and driven by fear. Don't be sold a bill of goods. I think the people I'm looking at right now online that really piss me off more than anything are the ones that are selling like COVID-19 survival kits. Like, have you seen these guys? Like, they got like a little kit of all this stuff in there, and it's like, you know, I realize you think you're providing a service, but you're just stoking fear all at the almighty dollar, trying to sell people a bill of goods. Don't be fooled. In fact, don't buy anything based on this crisis. Buy stuff you know you need, but don't buy something because you were driven to be fearful and that made you buy this thing. During times of uncertainty, don't be sold when it comes to fear. Sell yourself on rest instead. So if you feel yourself getting worked up, remember, peace or not peace. If it's peace, do it. If it's not peace, rest. Avoid that thing. All right, and the last one, even calm people will lose it sometimes. I'm pretty chill, you guys, but I have my moments from time to time. Now, thankfully, over this time of crisis that we're in now, I've been pretty good for the most part. About the most major thing I've dealt with lately is feeling of loneliness, and I miss human touch. Like, I'm a very sociable guy. I like hugging people. And so I miss all of that right now. But it hasn't overcome me to the point that I've gone there in my head with the fear. But it has a lot of people. And so a lot of people that you would expect would never go there in their minds. When the world's in a panic, I find myself comparing my life to those who are calm. I say, but Tony Robbins is probably completely chill on his island, and here you are freaking out and acting crazy. Why can't you just be like Tony? But here's the thing, calm people don't always have their shiz together. Tim Ferriss recently lost his mind. His girlfriend said something interesting to him, which he tweeted, "Have you gotten your period too?" I'm sure Tim did not like that too well. Tim Ferriss admits to losing his mind a little during these uncertain times, and his girlfriend helped him course correct a little bit because she noticed what was going on in this seemingly put together, successful guy that seems chill and peace and zen all the time. Yeah, even he had his freak out moment, and it took his girlfriend asking him if he's had his period to get him back into reality again. So even those people you admire lose their minds on occasion. Yes, if you're watching Jimmy Moore, I have lost my mind on occasion. People that have been in my life that I share everything with, they will tell you, yes, I am not perfect. I'm not always this happy. I'm not always perfectly calm, but I am most of the time, and that's the lesson here, you guys. Is the majority of your time being in this peaceful state, being in this calm state? Yes. And if you can answer yes, then you're doing pretty good. You're going to have moments. Allow yourself the moments. Moments will happen, and they can happen for any number of reasons. We all get triggered by different things, so just know your triggers and then respond accordingly and recognize what happens. I can tell you right now, every time I feel myself having those feelings, I always recognize what happens right away. And that self-awareness is so helpful. Maybe your favorite author is sitting at home writing their next bestseller. Well, if I'm your favorite author, I'm not writing my next bestseller right now, but I could be. It certainly is something that I could use my energies towards during this kind of downtime, but I'm not. I'm telling you right now, I'm not writing any books. I got a lot of book ideas, but I'm not writing any books. Maybe they're panicking. Just know that. Don't put people up on a pedestal and think they're not feeling exactly like you. It's a thought worth pondering during all these uncertain times. Okay? So what's the takeaway from Tim's article? And then I want to see what you guys have to say. We're all living on the edge right now. We think we're almost in ruin. Such is the dance of life. I wrote this on the shower wall this morning, and it sums up the point very nicely. Fear is a part of life, and uncertain times will always ebb and flow in and out of your life. The challenge is not to spot those uncertain times. It's to manage your mindset and keep calm. Happiness during times of uncertainty looks like peace to me. Man. Like those memes that are out there, keep calm and then da-da-da. Keep calm and go with the flow, guys. Like, now is not the time to be overwhelmed with intense fear in this time of uncertainty. Embrace the challenge that we have right now and look for the opportunities that are here. There's great opportunities for all of us if you're willing to open your hearts and minds to it. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. I'm going to go to Instagram Live first. If I have time, I'll go to Facebook Live. Thank you guys for being here as well. Welcome in, welcome in. As always, hop on over to jimmyrants.com. You can see all the past episodes if you missed any. And also YouTube, type in the keyword Jimmy Rants, you will find the show. Keto Purple Owl, I wish we would call it physical distancing, not social distancing. Yeah, I think they should have called it distancing socially, because that's what we're doing. We're not socially distanced because it does have this negative connotation of, oh, we don't want to talk to each other. Yeah, I haven't liked that either. Eelza says, change starts with yourself, always, in anything you do, not just in times of crisis. Beth says, our salon is closed as of Saturday. Thank goodness, too much risk. I'll be eligible for unemployment, which is more guaranteed than working at this point since there will be no customers. Well, I'm glad they're taking care of your needs. This staying put, though, for me is hard, says Beth. I had an overwhelming feeling of needing to go somewhere, but reality hit. Instead, I am reading and drawing to pass the time. Yeah, sometimes I'll find myself wanting to hop in my car and go somewhere because that's what I'm used to. And then I come to my senses and, it stays parked in the driveway and I'm okay right here. Naughty Bits PJ says, 2 ladies in my church were toddlers during the 1918 flu. They both lost their family members. Interestingly and sadly, both say they remembered being afraid anytime someone was sick because fear infected their entire life. That's sad. And I have a feeling we're going to have some lasting post-traumatic stress syndrome from this coronavirus thing. And not just the coronavirus itself, but how we're reacting to it. PTSD is going to go off the charts, and I'm sincerely concerned about that. I've been talking about this a lot. If you find yourself slipping into that, please, please, please get help sooner than later. Debbie says, I'm happy because I got the okay to work from home. I'm in the high risk category, but it was weird driving home knowing I don't have to leave the house. I bet. James says, it's been great here since I live in rural Arkansas. I've been out walking my dogs and live streaming with my buddies. Yeah, one thing I wish I had here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, I wish I had some woods to go walk in. Like I'm sure there are some I could drive to, but I crave that right now, to be outside, get the fresh air, get the sunshine, and just be in the stillness, like in the middle of the woods. That would just be so glorious right now. Jess says she's taken her time to paint a wall in the basement yesterday. I've heard a lot of people talk about that they're doing little household chores, so it's cool. Ilza says, peacetime is every evening together as a family. This weekend it's spring cleaning for us and finishing up all my crafts. That's awesome. Bright Blur, we did an inventory of our freezer and found some steaks in there we didn't know we had that brought some happiness. Yeah, I've got a deep freezer on my front porch out there, and I know there's stuff in there. I should probably do the same, so thank you for inspiring me to do that. Cariana says, if anyone lives near a wildlife refuge, I highly recommend going. There's no camping, dogs, or running allowed, which usually means not many people there. Peaceful social distancing. I love that. Naughty Bit says, I made 3 shawls and a baby Yoda in the last week. That's cool. Debbie says, I hate country music too. Yeah, and I recently realized why I hate country music, and it's tied to my childhood trauma. My dad owned restaurants when I was a teenager, and you guys know about how he physically, emotionally abused me pretty regularly. And so in his restaurants, he played country music in the late 80s. And so, all my exes live in Texas. And so I'm hearing all this like music while I'm getting my head beat and I'm getting physically and emotionally berated. And so I tie that memory of that country music to that abuse. And so I just abhor country music. No offense to country music fans and artists, but unless you're Carrie Underwood or Taylor Swift, no thank you. I'm going to move on with my life and not enjoy country music. Let's see. Debbie said, I had to get off Facebook. Too much fear posts. I'm keeping Instagram just to watch Jimmy Moore. Thank you for that. That's sweet. James says, if my grandma heard it on Facebook, then it has to be true. Yeah, we all have those grandmas in our life, don't we? Oh my, Cariana says, I bought 3 pounds of organic chia seeds out of fear. That's so funny. Fasted Human says, play salsa or meringue. Yeah, I like pretty much all music except for death metal and country music. So I'll even take opera and classical music before those things. All right, let's come over to Facebook. I'm running out of time. I got a few more minutes left. Let's see what you guys have to say over here. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks, and thanks as always to the Live and La Vida Low Carb Facebook page as well. All right, what you got for me, guys? Missed you yesterday, wondered if on today, and here you are, says Norma. Yeah, I needed a break, Norma. So it's one of the things I learned during my sabbatical. Don't feel like you're compelled to go do work and go on air just because people expect you to. So I gladly took yesterday off. And so thank you for letting me do that. Not that you had a choice. Berkeley says, opportunity for spring cleaning. Yes, everybody loves to spring clean. Well, it's almost spring. Let's do it. Melissa, I'm learning to trust Jesus more. And that's great. If you're leaning on your faith at this time, I think that is a beautiful response to this. Kay says, I'm thinking of a trial run of retirement, but no traveling or getting out other than the backyard. Yeah, like I said, I feel like I'm kind of back on sabbatical again with some of the practices I'm doing right now, being at home a lot. So it's really been amazing. Marilyn says Twitter is insane right now. Yeah, don't get on Twitter at all. Like, unless you enjoy having your blood pressure go up and getting angry because somebody says something that is totally asinine, it gets you in an uproar. That's what Twitter's good for right now. Carol says, I lost my husband 3 weeks ago and now all of this on top of it. Carol, I'm so sorry. And she said, I also suffer with depression and anxiety for a long time. This is a very traumatic time for you. And you, more than anybody right now, need to be so kind and so loving to yourself. I'm sincerely sorry you lost your husband and now you're having to deal with this. Just know this will pass and you will have time to properly grieve him. So again, my heart goes out to you and I hope everything goes well in your life. Berkeley says, perhaps our society will stop the crazy, endless activity that has become the norm, put away the constant media, look around at what is real. Real is my middle name, Berkeley, and you know that. I literally, when I came back from sabbatical, rebranded myself as the man of real. Right there, man of real. And I'm still the man of real. I want to always be real with you guys because I think real helps you. And so many of you have told me that I'm glad there's somebody real in the virtual world. Like, a lot of you tell me that you're really glad that you feel like you know me because I am so real. Like, I don't pretend like to have all the answers. I don't pretend like to be an expert. I'm just me. I'm just sharing. I'm trying to be like you and sharing in all your concerns and having all the same kind of thinking that you do. And I am fully aware that a lot of you trust me in that way, and I'm appreciative. I'll keep doing this, guys. I'm not going anywhere. Like, this ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And so if I can be that realness and yet that source of comfort, then I want to be that for you right now. Becky says, crafting more and making videos of things parents can do with their children. If you've got talent right now that you can use to share and encourage people, like, let's start an encouragement positivity trend in the midst of this coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. Don't let this overtake us, guys. Don't let that fear paralyze you. If you have a gift to the world, maybe right now is your chance to show what you got. Like, I think I'm pretty good talking extemporaneously. I never prepare any notes when I do these shows. I just, whatever's top of mind and in my heart. And if you've got that ability, you get on there and encourage people. If you can post a meme that makes people laugh, you do that. Do the things that you know to do, stay in your lane, and let's get through this. That's my primary objective right now over everything else. Let's just get through this. Becky says, just need to learn how to get a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel is pretty easy. Go sign up on YouTube, and then once you have an account, Becky, it'll give you a button that says upload video. You upload video, it starts to upload it. You can put a title, you can put a little description, you can put hashtags, and then within moments, it's up there. And then you've got a link that then you could post on Facebook and all the different places, and you can get it out there. So it's pretty easy. Go give it a shot. Maybe this is your chance. Maybe Becky 2776 block host, maybe you're about to become the next YouTube sensation. So let me know if you do that. I would love to see your work and what you do. And thank you guys for being here today. JimmyRants.com is the website if you want to go check out the past episodes. Definitely, I am on YouTube as well. You can go look me up, put in a keyword Jimmy Rants. You will find the show, and as always, please follow me live on Instagram Live. And I'm Living Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. So guys, until next time, we'll see you then. All right. We are done. I was running out of time over there. That's why I was speeding up my voice there at the end. So thank you guys for being here today. I'm enjoying doing the content that I've been doing lately. This is literally my heart cry right now. I feel like I'm an encourager in my heart, I'm an encourager. So why not use that for good? And so I'm going to keep coming on here, and I'm going to keep expressing encouragement and uplifting people. And I think we all need to do our part to do that. Don't pretend like what I'm doing here is something unique. Don't think that Jimmy Moore is the only one that can provide encouragement and positivity in the midst of this. Know that you have that ability too. And if you have that ability, you should be doing it. So hopefully this inspires you to do something today that maybe is outside of your comfort zone. Good. Go outside your comfort zone. It's okay to do that from time to time, because you never know where good things are going to happen. When I started my podcast in 2006, I never knew how to do podcasts. Now, that was before everybody was doing podcasts, but there were people podcasting, but not me. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any clue what I was doing. But I started. And guess what? I got pretty good at it. And today, Living La Vida Low Carb Show is the longest running health podcast online. What? All because I was willing to put aside my fear of doing something like that, and I took a chance. And maybe right now you've got this opportunity to take a chance to do something you've always wanted to do. Don't squander this opportunity, you guys. Jessica says, very late. Are the keto events mostly canceled or rescheduled? Sorry if this is a redundant question. Yeah, nobody's asked me that, Jessica. All I know is the ones that were being planned over the next couple months are definitely in jeopardy. My low carb cruise, as of right now, is still on. It's in mid-May, but I know that a lot of the cruise ships and companies are going to have to reevaluate come mid-April, and I have a gut feeling that the low carb cruise is going to be canceled. It has not been canceled. We won't cancel unless Royal Caribbean cancels, but that's a big one. I know the Paleo FX meeting got moved to July, I believe it was. Keto Con is in June. As of right now, I think it's still on. They have not canceled it. So I would contact the individual organizers of the various ones and just see where their head is right now. A lot of them are having to make tough decisions about what they're going to do. So reach out to them directly to get those answers. I know Low Carb Denver was last weekend, and they had so many people cancel. They were like doing a fire sale, desperately trying to get butts and seats, and it was bad. I was supposed to be speaking at two events last weekend in Winchester, Virginia, and this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, today I was supposed to be driving to Ackford, Georgia to do the ADAPT events, and those both got canceled as well. So contact the individual ones that you're interested in and see where they are. But I would be shocked if we see any conferences in the keto space until July. And even then, those are still possibly going to be canceled as well. So it's weird times right now, guys. We just have to roll with it. And we do roll with it. So, all right, let me pop off of here. Sally says, I appreciate you. I needed this today. Thank you. Much love and prayers. Thank you, Sally. I love being an encourager. It's literally one of my favorite things to do is encourage other people. I feel like I'm pretty good at that, and I've been gifted at that. So I'm going to keep using that talent that I know I have. All right, let me pop off of here. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here.